Stress is something we're all familiar with. Stress can impact us in many different ways, whether it changes our mood, it lowers our energy, it can even fatigue our adrenal glands and how they function in the body under stress. We're going to talk about that and more today at Sunflower Shoppe. To help us learn more about these adrenal glands and how they affect our health, I have brought in an expert, Dr. Joyce Stroud. She's a family physician at Southlake Family Medicine, and she's here joining us today. Thank you for being here today, Dr. Stroud.
Thanks, Bryan, for inviting me.
So tell me, adrenal glands, they say adrenal stress, adrenal fatigue, adrenal burnout. What does that really mean?
I think one of the things with the adrenals, people tend to focus just on them, not realizing there's a link between them and, of course, all of your other organs. And this very important one is the adrenals to the pituitary and the pituitary axis. So when they're stressed, it goes to your brain and tells your brain you're stressed. And that's why fatigue will appear like depression because of how it affects the brain.
What type of testing do you really prefer to look for this adrenal stress?
Well, I think the easiest and most accurate and the cheapest really is saliva testing, because that's where you can really measure cortisol. And we measure it over the whole day. We measure it around 8 a.m., at noon, at about 5 o'clock, and before bedtime. Because cortisol is very, very high, starts going up very high in the morning, as you know, at around 6 a.m. So we know what the level should be. And people who have adrenal fatigue don't ever have that high curve down. They are flat.
Okay, so you identify someone who's got all this adrenal stress by saliva testing. What kind of nutritional products do you use from that point on?
Before I do anything, I start with the nutrition part of it and cleaning their gut up, getting them on probiotics, and then pretty intense counseling about how they have to change what they eat.
I see a lot of people coming in looking for products to support their adrenal glands, and there's a lot of things out there. And do you have any suggestions about just simple nutrients that the person can take?
Yes, I think the three starters to go with is, is carnitine, because that really helps at the cellular level. Ashwagandha is it's an adaptogen, which is something that is calming to the body. CoQ10 is another one that's is excellent. I think that you definitely need a really good multiple plant-based vitamin with lots of Bs in it.
So you mentioned the food side of it. What are some of the most common foods you see that are culprits to someone's diet today?
Well, any kind of processed food, cakes, cookies, even the breads and fats that you find in fast food restaurants, because they put a lot of filler in them. They put a lot of stuff that we don't need. And you need very good protein, very good fats, and very good carbs to recover from adrenal fatigue. And even when people eat better, we know from actually government studies, the NHANES, anybody can look it up and see that today you have to eat 4 apples to equal what an apple was when we were kids. Nutrition-wise, not calorie-wise. It still has all those calories, but to get the nutrients, because a lot of patients will say, well, I heard on TV you don't need vitamins. And I said, well, you need to read the study. They never tell you what vitamin they used. They use some, generic brand that's full of filler, that's not been tested to show that you do absorb those nutrients. If you have a good vitamin, I think you have to take an essential vitamin when you're healthy. Not when we're talking patients that are sick need a lot more. The average person who exercises and eats well and does that, they do so much better with nutrition, with vitamin support.
With diabetes on the rise, it's growing faster than it ever has. How does the adrenal glands and your blood sugar really play a part in your health?
Well, it's the boss, because cortisol and insulin are the boss of your body. We talk about hormones and all of the other things, but if you don't have cortisol, you'll die. If you do not have insulin, you'll die within a very short amount of time. And they control blood sugar all the time. Cortisol goes up, it raises blood sugar, insulin lowers the blood sugar. and they work together. The problem with especially the type 2 diabetes is people become insulin resistant, where they make plenty of insulin, but it's not taken up by the cell. And because the cell gets so bombarded with all the sugar and carbohydrates, it starts ignoring it.
Well, Dr. Stroud, that was some great information. I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you, Bryan, for inviting me.
To learn more about your adrenal glands or any other health topic, come see us at Sunflower Shop, where great health is just a way of life.